What if curses were not just ancient legends or creations of popular imagination, but real spiritual tools used to restore balance? Imagine if, instead of random punishment, these hidden forces were directed at those who practice evil. Now think. What if you were connected to this? What if your existence activated this kind of invisible justice? There are people who, from an early age, feel that they do not belong to the world as it is. They perceive more than others, feel when the environment changes, and live in constant confrontation with what is wrong. These people are not ordinary. They are the chosen. And because they carry a mission, they end up becoming targets of forces that operate in darkness. These forces do not like the light that the chosen carry. They try to destabilize, manipulate, sicken, and silence. But what many do not know is that, by trying to reach those who are spiritually guarded, they end up awakening consequences. And these consequences are not simple. They are responses. They are invisible curses that return with weight on those who tried to cause harm. Over time, stories have been told about people who mysteriously fell ill, went bankrupt, or lost everything shortly after doing something cruel. They are signs. Spirituality does not ignore what the world considers insignificant. When a chosen one is unjustly harmed, the universe responds. It is not revenge, it is law. And this law acts with precision, even if not seen. In this video, we will delve deeper into this theme. You will understand why so many strange events surround your life. You will realize that your challenges are not punishments, but tests. And that what affects you is in fact a sign that you are being shaped for something greater. You are a part of all this. It's time to remember who you are. If this content resonates within you, do not ignore this sign. Perhaps this message has reached you for a greater reason than you imagine. There are truths that can no longer be hidden, and you are ready to hear them. So, if you feel that this journey is yours, follow the channel. The awakening of the chosen is just beginning. You are not strange. You are sensitive to what many ignore. You feel when something is wrong. You notice when an energy changes in the environment. And no matter how much you try to fit in, you always seem out of place. This is not weakness. It is a sign that you carry a different mission, a connection to something invisible but powerful. People like you live with their senses alert. They perceive betrayals before they happen, sense tragedies, and dream of things that later become real. This is not coincidence. It is spiritual sensitivity, and it is also a responsibility. Because the chosen are not here just to see. They are here to act, protect, alert, even if they are misunderstood for it. Have you noticed that you attract envy from people you don't even know well? That some distance themselves without explanation, while others try to belittle you? This happens because your energy, even in silence, causes discomfort. Those who harbor malice can feel when a chosen one is near, and often they try to attack before being exposed. The invisible knows who it is dealing with. The chosen carry a light that reveals what is hidden. When you arrive, masks fall, intentions are revealed, and the environment changes. This does not happen by chance. Your presence activates spiritual movements. Sometimes, you are sent to a place just to destabilize what has been built on lies. Your energy disturbs because it is truth. That is why you live situations that seem unjust. You give of yourself, help, and care. Yet still you are betrayed, deceived, or rejected. It is not because you deserve it. It is because your life is connected to something greater. There is a spiritual war happening, and whether you like it or not, you are a key player in this invisible battlefield. When someone tries to harm a chosen one, something happens. It may take days, months, or even years, But the response comes. It is not punishment. It is spiritual justice. There is a force that protects those who carry purpose. And this force, in certain cases, manifests curses that seem like coincidences, but are consequences. Those who wish harm reap the weight of the return. Many do not believe this. They laugh at the idea of plagues, spells, curses. But you know that the invisible is real. You have felt attacks that no one saw. You have had sleepless nights for no apparent reason. You have lived oppressions that did not come from people, but from forces. And still, you continued, because the chosen is tested but not defeated. You do not fit in, because your spirit is ancient. Your soul already recognizes the signs. You were not born to obey blindly, nor to repeat what is broken. You were born to be the rupture, to be the echo of justice, where all seemed silence. And this makes you dangerous to those who live off deceit, manipulation, or cruelty. On the outside, everything may seem normal, but inside, your energy carries a type of truth that cannot be tamed. The chosen are the first to feel chaos and the last to be understood. But they are also the ones who activate, without realizing it, the forces that correct the imbalance. That is why they live in confrontation. But they remain standing. If you have made it this far and felt as if these words were describing your life, you may now understand the reason for everything. The pains, the separations, the losses. None of this was in vain. Everything served to show you that you are not common. You were called, and where there is a chosen one, there is justice walking alongside. Have you noticed how life seems to test you more than others? Whenever everything seems to be fine, something happens. Unexpected losses, unjust attacks, doors that close. And still, you continue. It's as if something is preparing you all the time, because those who carry purpose also carry invisible trials that shape the soul. The chosen do not live a common life because they do not have a common mission. They face more, feel more, suffer more. But they also rise stronger with each fall. Adversity is not a punishment. It is spiritual training. It's as if the universe says, I need you to endure more than others, because I will use you in places that few would withstand. When someone unleashes hatred or injustice upon you, it feels like the world is collapsing. But gradually everything starts to reorganize. Evil tries to hit you, but it comes back with force to those who sent it. It's the energy moving. And the more you remain standing, the clearer it becomes. There is a protection that accompanies you, even in silence. Some people try to destroy you with words, envy, or manipulation, and for a time it even seems like they win. But wait, observe. In a short time, what was launched against you transforms, and it returns, with weight, with force. Not because you wished harm, but because there is a justice that acts for you without needing your revenge. The chosen do not need to curse anyone. Their existence is enough to activate spiritual reactions. When someone unjustly hurts you, they do not just hurt you. They hurt the purpose you carry. And those who touch the purpose of a chosen one sow their own collapse. The return is not just energetic, it is spiritual, and it comes. You may fall, but you never stay on the ground. You may feel weak, but you keep going. This confuses others, because they do not understand how you survive so many attacks. The truth is that your strength does not come from here. You are sustained by something that cannot be explained logically, only felt by those who live the invisible. Every betrayal you faced did not go unnoticed. Every injustice, every lie, every attempt to erase you is recorded. And there are spiritual forces that observe everything. The response does not always come immediately, but it comes. And when it comes, it does not miss the target. That is why you can move forward in peace. Evil does not remain unpunished for long. Even when the world doubts you, there is something greater that believes. Even when they call you too sensitive, too dramatic, too strange, there is a reason behind it all. You have been separated. You were shaped by fire, and the fire did not destroy you. It transformed you. That is why no adversity has been able to stop you until now. You are not immune to pain, but you are protected by your mission. And a mission, when true, attracts trials. But it also attracts justice. So the next time you are attacked, remember, the response will not come by your hand. It will come by the hands of the invisible. Because where there is a chosen one, evil never remains unpunished for long. Curses, negative energies, and the law of return. Perhaps you have already felt a weight in the air, an unexplained anguish, a sudden sadness, or even a fatigue that seems to come from nowhere. This may not just be emotional, it can be spiritual. The chosen, by vibrating on a different frequency, feel the invisible. They notice when something has been thrown against them, even if no one admits it. There is a reality that many ignore. Words carry energy. Malicious thoughts do too. What comes out of someone's mouth or mind can be more dangerous than a physical attack. When someone unleashes envy, hatred, or negative wishes against a chosen one, this transforms into a kind of energetic spell. But what few know is, this has a return. The law of return is simple. Everything you emit into the world comes back to you. And when it comes to the chosen, this return is often much faster and more intense. Because they are not alone. They have protection. And those who try to harm a protected one, without just cause, activate consequences that they may not always be able to bear. Have you noticed how some people who have harmed you ended up experiencing losses, illnesses, ruptures, or confusion shortly afterward? This is not coincidence. This is energy in motion. This is life returning what was launched with the wrong intention. And many times, it is the invisible defending those who have a mission that still needs to be fulfilled. You may not like the term curse, but it exists. However, contrary to what many think, it is not always something ritualistic. Sometimes a curse forms in a loaded glance, in a poisonous speech, in an attempt to manipulate or harm someone out of envy or ego. And when this touches a chosen one, the universe reacts. The chosen feels the burden before it manifests. They wake up feeling heavy, have strange dreams, sense the environment change. This is because their sensitivity is also a spiritual alarm system. And even without fully understanding what is happening, they begin to protect themselves. They withdraw, they become silent, and without realizing it, they disarm the force that was launched. The most interesting thing is that the chosen does not need to retaliate. They do not need to cast any curses. The very energy they carry already does this work. Their light has a rebound effect. Those who try to harm end up hurt by their own poison. Those who wish evil receive it back with doubled intensity. Because messing with one who has purpose comes at a high price. There are even documented cases of spiritual groups that launched prayers or rituals to reveal the truth or destabilize unjust structures. Shortly afterward, companies collapsed, corrupt leaders fell, and entire systems were exposed. It was not stage magic, it was spiritual justice in action. And that is what many ignore when they try to touch the chosen. You may not even realize it, but your spiritual field is being observed. Good and bad forces are attentive to every movement. And that is why you cannot walk as if you were anyone else. Your presence in certain places is already a spiritual movement. You carry more than you think, and this demands awareness and firmness. When you sense attacks for no reason, pray. When the environment feels strange, be silent. When people start to fall around you, understand. It is not about you wishing harm, but about a natural order that protects those who came with a mission. And this order, even invisible, is precise, just, and never fails. Evil may try to hit you, but the return is certain. Not because you ask for it, but because you are guarded. And those who are guarded have something in their favor that cannot be defeated, the truth. And when the truth is attacked, the universe responds, always, because there are curses that do not come from darkness, but from spiritual justice. Perhaps you don't realize it, but you have gone through situations that would have destroyed any other person. You have faced betrayals, losses, attacks, and even spiritual oppression. But you are here, standing. This is no coincidence. This is alignment. When a chosen one walks in their mission, they are protected by something greater, something the world cannot explain. Have you ever wondered why some serious things simply cannot bring you down? Why people who wanted to harm you suddenly disappeared or lost power? It is because your energy, when in tune with the truth, becomes a shield. Not visible, not physical, but absolutely real and effective. Evil tries. It launches subtle attacks. It uses close people, negative thoughts, heavy environments. But the aligned chosen one feels the movement before it manifests. Their spirit senses danger. And this perception is not paranoia. It is protection. It's as if the universe says, "Attention. Something is trying to stop you." And you react. In silence, but with strength. This immunity is not about never suffering. It's about never being destroyed. Because there is a spiritual frequency that only the chosen can access. When you live consistently with your purpose, this frequency increases. And the higher your vibration, the harder it becomes to affect you. What is thrown against you simply finds no space to enter. Have you noticed that some people say that nothing sticks to you, that you are protected? They are not wrong. There is indeed a force that guards you, not like an iron shield, but like a living presence around you. Something that blocks, returns, dissolves. And all of this without fanfare, without an audience, without noise. Those who try to harm someone on a mission do not face just a person. They face the purpose that protects that person. And that is where many curses turn against those who created them. Not out of revenge, but by natural order. The universe takes care of those who care for the light, and you carry that light even without realizing it. Even when they talk about you, accuse you, or try to manipulate you, you feel when something is out of place. It's an inner voice, a subtle force. This is alignment. It is as if the spiritual world says, "Don't go this way," or "This person is not trustworthy." And when you listen, you escape from invisible traps that were being laid against you. The chosen one who lives aligned does not need to retaliate. They just keep going. And with each step, everything that was thrown against them dissolves or returns to the point of origin. Because you do not walk alone. There is something greater by your side, something that observes, cares, and intervenes when necessary. This is called spiritual alliance. If you have made it this far, you already know your path is not common, and your protection is not either. That is why you should not fear what is thrown against you. Fear losing your connection to the truth, because it is from there that your immunity comes. It is for it that you remain standing, and it is it that will bring justice whenever evil tries to stop you. At some point on the journey, the truth appears. Those who tried to diminish you begin to realize that you were not the weak one in the story. You were the strong spirit. What seemed like silence was, in fact, firmness. And what seemed like vulnerability was just spiritual sensitivity. The greatest strength someone can carry. On the outside, perhaps you never defended yourself. You never shouted, never retaliated. You just felt. You just noticed. You just observed. And while the world called you strange or excessive, you remained firm. Because deep down you knew justice would not come from your hands. And when it arrives, it comes in the most unexpected way, but always at the right time. It is precisely at this point that many begin to fear your presence, not because of who you are externally, but because of what you carry. The energy of the chosen is different. It is a mirror. It reveals. And when someone approaches a chosen one with wrong intentions, it is as if their very shadows are brought to light. And the truth, when it appears, disturbs. Those who wished you harm begin to confront their own reflection. The masks fall. The lies are exposed. What was done in darkness comes to light. And all of this happens because your energy vibrates at a frequency that evil cannot maintain for long. The false cannot sustain proximity to the true. They did not know who they were trying to hurt. They thought it was just another sensitive person, just another who would not react. But what they did not see is that by touching you, they touched a protected spiritual line. And this line does not forgive injustice. When activated, it returns, not as revenge, but as a natural consequence of imbalance. The revelation comes silently. It does not need scandal or exposure. Sometimes those who attacked you simply begin to fall. Relationships break. Some even try to return, to reconnect. But not out of real regret, out of fear. Fear of what they touched unknowingly. Fear of what they provoked spiritually. Because only after the fall do they realize you were not the threat. You were protection. And by trying to harm you, they broke a cycle of blessings that surrounded them without their notice. This is the turning point. When you stop explaining yourself, when you no longer need to justify your existence, you simply are. And life itself makes a point of revealing your mission. Those who doubt it now look at you with respect. And even if they do not admit it, they feel. Because the soul recognizes those who have light, even if the mind resists. The chosen are not ordinary people. They carry a direct connection to the spiritual. Sometimes, they do not even understand their own strength, until they see what happens when they are unjustly attacked. There is no manual, no control, but there is evidence. And the evidence is in the falls that occur after attempts to erase you. You do not need to prove anything. Those who need to see will see. Those who need to understand will understand. And those who need to feel the return will feel it. Because where there is mission, there is protection. Where there is truth, there is revelation. And where there is a chosen one, there are spiritual consequences for those who try to touch with dirty hands. If until today you blamed yourself for separations, betrayals, or conflicts, begin to see from a different angle. Sometimes, your presence reveals so much that it becomes unbearable for those who live in illusion. You did not lose people. You were freed from energies that were not ready for the truth you carry. When the revelation happens, the environment changes. You feel lightness. Paths open up. What once seemed stuck begins to flow. This happens because the weight of false energies leaves your path. You begin to walk with more firmness. Because now you know you are not alone. You are surrounded by something invisible that guides you, protects you, and honors your mission. The truth sets you free, but it also separates. And when it manifests in the lives of the chosen, the world around is impacted. It cannot be otherwise. Where there is light, darkness does not remain. And those who try to extinguish this light end up realizing too late. You were not the fragile target. You were the reflection that the shadow feared the most. You were not made to walk in the dark. You were called to bring light. Your life serves as a direction for others who are still lost. That is why the struggle was so intense. Because you represent healing in a wounded world. You represent justice where there was only confusion. You are the answer to prayers that others have made. And no matter how much they tried to harm you, one thing is certain. Against Jacob, no enchantment shall prevail, nor any divination against Israel. Numbers 23:23. No curse has power over those who are guarded. No contrary word prospers over those who walk with the heavens. Comment below if you believe this. And if this message touched your heart, share it with someone else who also needs to awaken. Your light can activate others. This is your mission.